Whenever I've had an exam, I like to do the first things the same way every time. There are several reasons why I do this. Firstly, it means that every exam I've ever taken feels very familiar to me. I've done the routine once, I can do it again. It also means I don't miss anything. It's very easy to miss out an important step and then find that you take too much time later on, losing words in your exam or losing time in your exam. It also prepares you well. You can feel confident if you follow this routine that you're ready to write for the time you get through these first 10 things. So I'm going to go through them with you one by one. Just be aware that you need to divide your time between planning, writing and checking. I've given you an ideal scenario here. These are all rough counts, but if you know how long you want to spend in each of those areas, it means at this point you can look at the clock, work out what 12 minutes in is, what another 45 minutes in. You can see where we're going here. You'll end up knowing exactly when you should be finishing with your planning, exactly when you should be starting to check. And it means you don't have to keep looking at the clock and calculating. Do this straight away, and then you can not worry about the time except to glance up at it every now and then. I know it seems obvious to say read all the questions twice, but it's so easy when you're under stress to misread a question. So force yourself. Even if you think you've discounted a question, it really isn't for you. Still, force yourself to read through the questions twice at this stage. So frustrating if you come out of an exam and find there was a great question and you just overlooked it. There's going to be lots of clutter in your mind. Dates you're trying to remember, figures or formulae you want to remember, quotations, names of texts, whatever it is. You may have all this clutter on a few revision cards that you looked at just before you get in the exam. Desperately trying to remember them whilst trying to plan will be difficult for you, so just jot down first off all the things that are getting in your way, all those facts, figures and quotes, whatever it is that you think you might need to use in the exam, and you want to get them out of your head quickly before you move on to the next stage. You need to confirm your choice, and it means you've got to read the questions again, just in case there's something you overlooked, either in the questions you discarded, or actually more likely by this stage just confirming that you're happy with what you've chosen. It's a good idea to give yourself some mock exams before you go into the real exams, partly because it helps you to use your revision material. We always remember things better if we've used them, but also it allows you to know how it felt. So you're about 4 minutes in now. If you can remember when I was just sitting at my kitchen table with some rough paper, just giving myself a mock exam, how did it feel? It'll remind you that you got through the mock exam, so you're going to get through this exam. It will calm your nerves and really help you to focus down before you move on to the next stages. These next 2 stages are just you reminding yourself of something you've already decided in advance. So usually we'll have a strongest question, an answer that you really feel confident about and you're happy to write. So decide whether you want to do that first because you really want to do it justice and it will give you some confidence, or whether actually you'd rather do it last because when you're tired you want a question that you find easier to answer. So you'll know the sort of exam taker you are in advance, but giving that some thought before you get into the exam means all you have to do is to remind yourself and look and decide which question you're going to do first, second, third, fourth, however many answers there are for you to give. And here also you've decided in advance. Are you going to plan each answer to start with and then write your answers, or are you going to plan an answer and write it, then plan the next answer and write it? People tend to have strong preferences about this, so if you've never thought about it, think about it before you go into the exam. Know which would work better for you. Would you feel confident having all your plans in place, or would you rather not clutter up your mind with all your answers and just look at the first one first, complete it, and then start planning the next answer? Once you know, which you do now, which answer you're going to go with first, make a quick 6-point plan. So just the 6 main points I want to make within this answer. That's only going to take you about a minute, but it's crucial you do it. Everything you write fairly much should be reduced down, able to be reduced down into 6 main points. It's how human beings work. We work well with 6 5, 6, 7 main points. So by just jotting down now, these are the areas I want to cover, it'll reassure you, you know what it is you want to say. There's detail to put in, but you know what you want to say. And then just confirm by reading that question again, do I understand absolutely everything I'm meant to be including, and do my 6 points cover all of those areas? By now you can feel really confident. You know what you're answering, you decided how to do it, and you've got your first brief plan. So you should be feeling much more confident at this stage. Because of that, you can then flesh out your 6-point plan. This is going to take a bit of time. Stay firm with this, even if people are scribbling all around you. Just spend 4 or 5 minutes fleshing out the 6-point plan. You might include notes of quotes or dates or text you might mention, maybe a few key points you want to make in your conclusion. And here you might choose to use a planning method such as, for example, a spider chart or a flow chart or a mind map. Try out some planning methods first, know the one that works well for you, and give yourself that full amount of time to really give the detail. The time you spend now planning will save you so much time later in the writing and checking stages. You will not find yourself looking out of the window wondering where to go next. The writing should be really easy to do after that. And then finally, just go back to that clutter that you put down first of all, those jottings. Is there anything from there that you want to include in this fleshed out plan? Now, although that seems quite a lot, I've been suggesting you do 10 different tasks that you carry out. The point is to give yourself confidence, to reassure yourself you know exactly where you're going, and to help you feel calm. You'll now find the writing stage is much easier for you, and the checking should be a doddle. Good luck.